Now that Urzael is dead, I'm going to Bramwell to find my son.
The streets are not clear. Some of our enemies remain.
I don't care.
This disaster will make for great reading someday, provided that anyone survives to chronicle it. How fortunate I am to have met the savior of Westmarch. You simply must let me ask you some questions when your work is done. Rakis conquered all of Honduras before founding Westmarch. Repelling this invasion would be child's play for him.
You're not going anywhere without me.
What?
Someone has to make sure you don't kill Adria before you find out where Malthael is.
You are the first to question my restraint, Lorath. Dead angels now rest with the human corpses on the roads of Westmarch. But more will die, unless we know where Malthael is hiding. I cannot imagine how Adria came by this knowledge, but somewhere in the Blood Marsh, our answers await.
Leah would understand. We hid the Black Soul Stone in the deepest part of the Nephilim ruins near here. We thought it would be safe, but Malthael found it all this later. This is the entrance to the tomb, but someone's collapsed. It looks like we'll have to find another way into the ruins. What was that?
No. I need essence. I'm afraid not. I need essence. No, I require a corpse key. I require a corpse key.
This was just one entrance to the city. There are guide stones littered across the Blood Marsh that will lead us to the main one. The guide stones are useless to most, but
Adria was clever, but so are we.
Remember to get the information you need before.
I know.
Reassuring?
I require a corpse. No. I'm afraid not. That is not possible. My essence is too low.
Could we find more like that?
The first time I saw a witch, she burned. Father took me to the town square to see it. Look, he said, that is the face of evil. But she looked like any other woman, and burned like anything else. Then the flames engulfed her. Her eyes found mine, and she laughed.
This is one of the guide stones, but nothing happens when I approach it.
I will try.
There are 4 entrances to the Nephilim city, each one etched with a sigil. Only the correct one marks the true entrance to the tomb. When you activate these stones, one of the wrong sigils disappears.
Not enough essence. Another guide stone will help me find the correct passage. I cannot be sure if this is the right way. Now I know which city marks the correct passage. Here it is, the right passage. Have a call.
I'd probably still be wrong.
That is not possible. I need essence. Decay and rot!
The Flesh Shaman was created from the blood of the witch Adrian. Because of that, the shaman is able to use magic as shields, channeling the power of blood and fire.
I'm
But
afraid
Adrian
not.
only has so much blood to shed, not for much longer.
The grave beckons. That is not possible. I need essence. I'm afraid not. This world can abide you no longer.
The Phantasms are unlike any spirits I have seen on Sanctuary. They bear a resemblance to lesser demons, but the souls of demons are always reborn in the hells. I suspect the Phantasms may be the remnants of some early Nephilim, those born more demons than angels.
That is not possible. I require a corpse for that. No. Afraid not. I must have a corpse. No.
I have uncovered and obscured an ancient tome in whose pages is recorded an impossible tale. The secret history of a race called the Nephilim, gods by another name, and their ruined civilization in the West. If this is true, how could all signs of these Nephilim be lost? But for the record, this single tome.
Afraid not.
Nephilim were not gods, but our own ancestors, gifted with long-life magic abilities. But they were still men. I
need
these
essence.
pages hold the key to unlock their power.
No.
Always wanted to fight some of these. Adria must know that we're coming for her. I'll be crazy for her mind.
That is not possible.
Decay and rot!
I'm afraid not. My essence is too low. I'm afraid not. That is not possible. I have trained well. afraid not. Weakness consumes you. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. Here, Laura.
You're going to kill her, aren't you?
That is not possible. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. No. This world can abide you no longer. I'm afraid not.
light of Zakarum to the heathen. Here in the east, the power of Zakarum wanes, but in the west it will rise, stronger and greater than ever. Yet I have another purpose. The lost Nephilim city of Corvus lies in the west. I will find it.
I'm afraid not.
Can abide you no longer.
I'm afraid not. That is not possible.
Grows.
I'm afraid not.
Do not fear the end.
That is not possible. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. Afraid not.
I'll be telling stories about that for a while.
I'm afraid not. afraid not. Your death nears. I'm afraid not. That is not possible. I'm afraid not.
I never knew that raptors had an interest in it.
I'm afraid not. The night embraces you. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. No. No. This world can abide you no longer. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. Decay and rot. That is not possible. That is not possible. Your death nears. I'm afraid not.
possible. Let's see where you've been hiding, Malthael.
Adria.
The angels will never suffer us to live. They cannot accept the fact that we may choose our own path. At least demons are not so rigid in their beliefs. Diablo sent me a vision. He had returned, and you were the one who freed him. No. He always finds a way. My master will return.
I'm afraid not.
Diablo will return. I have done what I can to ensure it. He always finds a way. In your heart of hearts, you know this.
Adria had conjured an image of pandemonium before I interrupted her.
She was searching for Malthael, so he must be there.
I need to go back.
I was separated from the other soldiers and surrounded by the dead when I saw him. I gazed into the face of death himself. I couldn't move. I just stared as he passed through me. His touch was like ice, so cold. But something in me changed. Something I cannot understand.
Where are you going? I have some good news.
Good news?
I mentioned what you did to some guards I met. You could get a commendation or something when this is all over.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Malthael seems to be in pandemonium.
No doubt he has gone to the fortress. Malthael can hold out there until the end of time. He is forcing us to come to him.
And what does that entail?
The only way to Pandemonium is through the high heavens. Let us leave at once.
Lara! Peter!
Who are you calling to?
Oh, it's my children. They're out playing a game, but I'll find them soon enough.
I now know death better than I know the shape of my hand or my own sword. Hendel charged into battle at my side. I'd known him since I enlisted, but when I looked at him that night, I had a vision. I saw the faces of the men he had killed, and I saw that he would not live to see the morning.
According to the records, King Rackus had a strong jaw, hair as black as night, and wore gleaming armor over his muscular... Sorry, what was I talking about? Every time Westmarch is invaded, a hero appears to save it. History is much easier to write with a strong protagonist. Rackus and his sons built much of Westmarch during their time. The ruins and the marshes outside the city may be their work too. Of course, whenever I ask the Crown for gold to further my excavations, there's always a more pressing matter at hand.
What is this?
Destroy the gate! The Nephilim is here!
He dares to attack us.
Malthael thinks he can delay the inevitable, but he underestimates my persistence. I will cross the ancient battleground of the angels and demons and journey on to the gates of the Pandemonium Fortress. This angel has disrupted the balance between life and death, and it falls to me to rebuke him.
There is a siege camp not far from here. Meet me there, and I will show you what must be done.
I'm afraid not.
Must I do everything for you? The most fearsome soldiers of hell. Having grown accustomed to the taste of war, they remained in Pandemonium long after the last siege of the fortress ended. Now, they regard the realm as their own and terrorize any angels who venture onto the battlefield.
No.
Patience is not one of my virtues, Nephilim.
I'm afraid not. That is not possible. No.
That is a siege rune. Bring it with you. Do you see the battering ram below? That is the only way you can breach the fortress gates. But it is useless without the siege runes that power it. You have one in your possession, but there are two more. You will find them on the battlefield below, imprisoned along with the demons that carried them. Once you have the runes, go to the ram. But know this, Nephilim. Even if you release Malthael from his madness, I will not thank you for it.
Indeed. I'm afraid not. Not.
I can't do that.
not. No. That is not possible. I'm afraid not.
So, this is where the eternal conflict raged since the beginning of time. I mean to win it. Eternal sounds rather pointless.
I'm afraid not. No. That is not possible. That is not possible. My power has grown. I'm afraid not. That is not possible. No.
Nephilim, over here.
I'm afraid not.
You found ancient siege weapons that we can use to create a diversion to draw Malthael's creatures away from the range. Can't fight and repair it at the same time. Protect us while we do our work.
I'm afraid not.
I'm under attack! Help me!
I'm afraid not.
I'm under attack! Help me!
That is not possible. That is not possible.
I'm under attack! Help me!
That is not possible.
Kill that thing! It may drive off the rest of them.
That is not possible. I'm afraid not. My wounds I'm afraid not.
keep the Angel of Death's minions occupied. You are a noble warrior. Proud to fight by your side.
I'm afraid not. That is not possible. That is not possible. That is not possible. That is not possible. No. No. That is not possible.
An incredible feat.
We will crush you if it takes another 10,000 years! This eternal battle only strengthens our resolve! This angel!
I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not.
What kind of demon are you? Do that! Death to the enemies of heaven!
No. afraid not. That is not possible. That is not possible. That is not possible. I'm losing strength. That is not possible. No. Possible. Afraid not. No. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not.
It roams the outskirts of Pandemonium, a lumbering giant with a gaping hole at its core. Somehow, it can hide its body away, disguising itself as a mere portal. Those who pass through it are trapped in a distant world, never to be seen again.
Possible. No. Afraid not. No. possible. That is not possible. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. Not possible. I am injured. That is not possible. That is not possible. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. is not possible. No. No. I'm afraid not. Do not fear the end. That is not possible. Can abide you no longer. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. This is the way to the realm. I'd best find the siege rooms first.
Father has revealed Malthael's plan to me, and it is worse than I could have imagined. He means to use the Black Soul Stone to capture all demonic essences, even those that linger in human hearts. If the stone is altered to rip the demonic essence out of every man, woman, and child on Sanctuary, they will all die.
Quickly then. We must begin the attack.
I never thought I would return here. Pandemonium was our battlefield for ages on end. Demons' blood saturated this ground. Many angels died defending it.
Why here?
Our battles revolved around the World Stone. I had the Pandemonium Fortress built in order to protect it.
You must have searched for Malthael after he vanished.
Malthael kept to himself much of the time, and he was known to leave without warning. Eventually, the Council became concerned. We sent his closest followers to find him. Most of them did not return.
They sided with their master.
It seemed so.
You built this fortress.
Not on my own, but it was my idea, yet. The angels raised it around the World Stone many eons ago.
Then you must know another way in.
I fear not. The fortress is always changing, caught between the forces of heaven and hell. Malthael is fundamentally altering the Black Soul Stone. It will now pull in all the demonic essence from whatever plane of existence it finds itself in. But mankind is born of angel and demon alike. Every mortal, save myself, has demonic essence as an intrinsic part of their being. Losing that will rip their body and soul apart.
Not.
Attack the hooks!
That is not possible.
We can't move until they're gone.
No.
Prepare for one last hit.
Down.
Pandemonium Fortress.
I am returning to town.
Thought on what you said, and you may have been right. Can't bear the thought of another friend's death.
But you also cannot bear a life without friends. You are not like me, Hedrig. You need people.
I suppose so. This is the wrong hammer, lad. I need the big one.
Right, sorry.
And you, my friend, not a word out of you. Not a single word.
But I wish to speak with Bryson.
You're going to distract my apprentice when he has all this work on his hands? Not on my watch. Now, lad, where's that hammer? Happy to help.
Leave me alone. I'm getting drunk, and no, I'm not sharing.
Drink will not give you answers.
I already have answers. The bloody thieves guild killed my brother.
You know there's more to it than that. I think you're even less convincing when you're drunk.
And you're even more insufferable.
We can't start to rebuild until we know that the one who caused this devastation is dead.
I am doing my best to ensure that.
I hope so.
Linda left a dagger here earlier. I'm guessing you're behind that.
Possibly.
Look, it's well crafted for a Kingsport blade, and oh, the hilt seems to be hollow. Someone hid a note inside. Here, you should take it to Linden.
Hadrig found a note inside the dagger.
Linden, I killed him. Come after me if you must. I'll be waiting. Rhea, my brother's wife.
The one you loved.
I don't want to talk about her. Not until this matter is settled. And I know you and I will see it done.
I joined a caravan of refugees heading to Bramwell, but we never made it there. Brigands slaughtered everyone. I ran into the forest and hid for days before I dared come out. How am I ever going to find my son?
If you see my children, please tell them to stop playing games and come home. Supper is almost ready.
Not for them.
I spoke with the necromancer Zale. He said that the source of my visions is not necromancy, but something else. He seemed unnerved by it.
I've never learned precisely why Rakis chose to found his kingdom here. He must have had an important reason, right? I'm not complaining, but your roguish friend over there seems to think he can win my favor.
Who, Linden? He's not worth the trouble.
Please tell the other gentleman you travel with, the armored one, that he's much more to my tastes. I've heard that you're journeying to a faraway land now. You won't forget to tell me about any discoveries you make there, will you?
I tried to leave the city today, but the gates are all closed. The guards won't let anyone in or out.
What are you going to do?
Stay here and hide, I guess. I am a coward.
Stop that! You're a good man.
When this is over, Tyrael will need to replace those who fell in the Tomb of Rakis. And he'll continue to train and expand the Order of New Horadrim. With everything I've been through at your side, I think I can contribute to that effort. The people of Westmarch are starting to rebuild the city and bury their dead. Their strength is an inspiration. But there are children that witnessed their family being torn apart. Others climbed over piles of corpses to get to safety. What will they make of the world when they grow up? The city has scars that will linger for generations. Deckard Cain wrote much about the Pandemonium Fortress. He kept meticulous notes, drew sketches, and even made some maps. But nothing matches what is there now. The fortress has changed so much since Malthael took over.
When I fought Malthael, my sword passed through him like air. He is in a state of death and life, impervious to physical harm. Your magic is not enough. To defeat him, you must channel the power of death, as he does.
No priest of Rathma has ever fully achieved that. How is it possible?
The power of the dead. If you could become one with it, you would be as Malthael is, and you could face him. But you must find a way, quickly. Every moment, thousands die, and Malthael's power grows beyond anything I have ever seen. The fortress feels strange and new to me, though I have come here times beyond count as its champion and as its liberator. It changes to match the nature of whoever controls it, but I have never seen it like this while under the control of an angel.
He has become something else.
At last, I have found you.
Master, why are you here?
We are reunited at our most dire hour. Many of our priests have fallen.
Even you, Master.
It is as it should be. I have come to aid you in defeating Malthael. You must wield a power beyond what you have ever dreamed possible. But first, you need to free us from our prison deeper in the fortress.
I swear it will be done.
This angel commands a power beyond his understanding.
Surely he possessed great knowledge as the Archangel of Wisdom.
Yes, but he sees virtue only in the light, not the balance. Without some measure of harmony between both these forces, we are all lost. The victory he imagines for himself could never come to pass. The truth is that you were not finished with your training when you left us. But I knew that if you'd stayed, you would have died in Malthael's attack.
You said many perished. Why was I spared?
Your life serves the balance, as it always has. But perhaps you see it more clearly now. There is still a great deal you must do before your journey ends.
Nephilim. The Black Soul Stone journeys through the portal to Sanctuary. Even now it spreads death across your world. And so ends the eternal conflict.
not. No. That is not possible. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. Afraid not. No. That is not possible. Afraid not. No. I can't do that. Afraid not. That is not possible. I'm afraid not.
What a monstrous creature!
death, and both will bend at my command.
You are closer to the cycle than any of us have ever been. Use this power to bring us peace.
You have given me a great gift, Master.
I give you a challenge. Do not fail.
I slew demons beyond count. I won battles and built sieges, but it availed me nothing. I know that this war can have no victor, only an eternity of revenge, pride, and hatred. Tyrael does not understand. He cannot see beyond the glory of battle. In time he may, but that day is not yet here.
I'm afraid not. That is not possible. I'm afraid not. I'm afraid not.
What happens after Malthael is dead?
I shall return to the priests of Rathma and tell them of what transpired here. There is much to learn from all of this. afraid not.
Death is beyond your reach. It is inevitable. There is no other way.
I'm afraid not.
You need but die. It is inevitable. Dies. There is nothing to save.
I'm afraid not.
With the power of death. But that will not save you.
No.
The end, all bow to death.
No.
Eternal conflict ends.
I'm afraid not.
It's inevitable. Dies. There is nothing to save. You are in
impossible.
Where is the Black Soulstone?
Malthael destroyed it and used the power within.
Then Malthael's death will have released Diablo. He is free. Where is the Black Soulstone?
Malthael destroyed it.
Then Malthael's death. The Nephilim had done the impossible. By conquering death, she had redeemed the angels and saved all mankind. In that moment, with victory at hand, I saw the Nephilim in a new light. She is a hero who can defeat the champions of heaven and hell, and a necromancer who protects the innocent. But within her beats a mortal heart that will one day be tempted to corruption. On that day, will she have the strength to resist? Or will she be our doom?